Hey guys, Mateo here. I'm the Guildmaster Pathogen Gaming, and today is going to be a video on what to do in Archeage Unchained once you hit max level. Now, as before in all of my other videos, you can go ahead and go into the description here. There will be timestamps on everything that I'll be covering here today. So you don't have to hear me talk through the whole video. I'm not going to ask anything or any favors or anything. You're not going to have to sit through any ads or anything like that. You just go straight to the section that you want to cover and we'll get into it. So what I want to talk about today is, like I said, the things that we're going to do at max level. And so I want to break those things down for you. You just hit 55, you upgraded your gear to Hiram gear, and then you're like, okay, well, all my quests dried up. There's nothing else for me to do. I see a bunch of people spamming in Green Nation chat. What does all that mean? What do I do? So as you can see there in my chat, somebody's looking for their Hiram Dailies. So that's the very first thing you're going to do. So the Hiram Dailies is essentially the same as your green quests pre-level 50. And what your Hiram Dailies do for you is it's a gauntlet of Aurora quests. So Aurora is a third continent. It's not Nuia or Hiranya. It's up here. It's Aurora. This is the kind of the expansion area. This is where max level players are typically going to be, you know, for their activities, for most of their activities throughout the day. And so it's just going to be a gauntlet from all of these zones here, from Eastern Hiram Mountains to Western Hiram Mountains, Reedwind, you know, the Diamond Shore, Sun Gold Fields, X-Lock, etc., etc. And these quests are going to reward you with the infusions, if you're familiar with this from leveling your Explorer's gear, and these Awakening Scrolls, right? And it's going to follow the same way as your Awakening gear or your Explorer's gear, right? So let's say, let me take my my chest here. My chest is ready to be upgraded. So, you know, I click on the scroll here, and it's the same process, right? So you have the scroll, you have the weapon. The chance is not 100% like your Explorer's gear, but this is the process, right? And you also get these Awakening Scrolls. I'll go ahead and pop one open here. I'll pull one weapon out, and it'll be the same way, right? So you get to upgrade your gear the same way you did your Explorer's gear, and that's the Hiram Daily Quest. So what will happen is, at every main quest hub in all of these places, and Aurora, all these quest hubs have a PvE quest. It's usually go kill X amount of mobs, right? And then what people do is they do this in a raid group. So right at reset or any time during the day. So like right now, if I hadn't done mine yet, I could go ahead and this guy Peroxin, I could go hop in his group. Hop in his raid group. I'm gonna pretend like I'm doing this. I'm gonna hop in his raid group, and so see, I'm in his raid group, and I'm gonna go out here to my map, and I'm gonna see where is everybody. So he has a marker on the map here for Diamond Shores. So I'm assuming he wants to start here at Diamond Shores. So, you know, I will take this portal here in Marianople. I'll take this portal to Diamond Shores, and then, you know, I will go join them in the quest. So I don't even have to, if you're a brand new player, you've never done this before, you don't know what the cadence is, you don't know where the quest givers are, you join one of these groups that start when they're starting, and you get to join them in their activities, and you get to go from quest hub to quest hub. The party leader typically opens the portal to the next place. So if you've never been there before and you don't have it in your teleport book, you're going to gain those locations. You'll pick the quest up, you'll follow them, they'll take you straight to the quest mobs, you'll kill the quest mobs, and so on and so forth, right? And that's the way, and that's just the way that you'll be doing it for that. So that's your Hiram Dailies. That's how you get your Awakening, your materials, and your scrolls. Now I recommend you set your hearth or your recall location to somewhere like Marianople or Ynys or Cinderstone, so that you can tell, so you only ever have to spend one Hereafter stone. If going from the capital and just using the portal to using a Hereafter, like opening my teleport book and porting out here to Aurora, it will cost me 3 normally. By taking the portal, the permanent portal in Marianople here to Aurora, now I can port within Aurora for 1, and then I can just use my recall book to get back to Marianople, and I can go between the continents that way and only ever have to pay 1 Hereafter stone. So that's the Hiram Dailies. I don't want them to think that they need to wait for me So I am actually going to drop out of this group. That they're waiting for people. It's like, oh, I don't just go about your quest. So the next thing that I want to talk about is honor. So you might think, well, honor, if you play World of Warcraft or whatnot, that's a PvP currency. If you've leveled up, you notice that you get honor when you kill people, and that's actually a good source of honor to kill people if you're going to kill a lot of people. If you're not killing a lot of people and you don't really, you want to enjoy all the PvE aspects of the game and don't really want to do all the PvP, but you still want the honor, and yes, you do still want the honor, then these are some of the things that you'll want to do the honor for. First, I'm going to show you what you get with the honor, and then I'll talk about where you get it. So first things first, decrystallization scroll. As you notice, when I went to go awaken my chest, and I'll try this again, I'll put the scroll up and I'll put my chest in there. It says it has a crystallization chance here. Awakening failure can result in crystallization unless the Sacred Hiram Awakening Scroll is used. Crystallized items cannot be awakened. It's basically, if you played another game like Lineage or whatnot, it's basically like, it means my gear is broken. And it has to be unbroken for me to attempt to awaken or upgrade it any farther. Your gear does have a chance to break here once you get it to Hiram. So the only way to unbreak it is this decrystallization scroll, and it costs 10,000 honor. That seems like a lot of honor, but we'll get into the sources of honor a little bit later. So these are all things that you can get there. Serendipity stones lets you change one of the stats on your gear. Let's say there's a stat on there you don't like. These are all awakening and upgrade materials for your cloaks, for your underwear. Yes, the underwear is an equipment item in this game, and your wardrobes, your costume can have stats on it. This is where you get your gems. So the gems that go into your gear, if you're familiar with World of Warcraft or another MMO like that, socketing gems into your gear. And if you can see, my weapon, for example, has 2 magic critical damage gems in it. They're level 2 gems. This is where you get those gems from. That was a Fire Glow Luna gem. They cost 7,000 honor each, and that's where you buy them to put in your gear. As you notice, I don't really have a lot of slots here because I haven't really been focusing on honor. I know there's a lot of people on the server in the game period that have, full gems in their gear, and their gear score is 1,000, 1,500 higher than mine because that's what they've decided to focus on. I've been sailing the 7 seas and doing a lot of fishing and all that kind of stuff, so haven't been too focused on this. This is also where you get the special Luna gems that go into your wardrobe, which is your costume, your transmog, or whatever you want to call it. So this is the stuff you get with honor. You will be buying these things throughout the game's lifetime. There's never going to be a time, well, I'll take that back. There's a point where you'll stop needing this stuff, but this is extremely in-game, where you don't need any more tempering charms and you don't need any more gems and everything. That's extremely late game. So you're going to be coming in here very often. Now here's where you get some of those things. It's going to be dailies, just like anything else, and you're going to see those in here. So if you look at my chat window right here, this guy named Avarice is looking for a Grimghast Rift. Rifts are a good source of honor. I have a Rift quest in my log because I haven't done it yet today, or I didn't finish it. I started it, and my group didn't get all the mobs, didn't kill all the mobs for the quest. But as you can see here, I have 2 in my log: Crimson Omen 2, Crimson Omens 3. That's a different rift. It's called Crimson Rift, and that gives me honor. You see, this one gives me 300 honor points, and this one gives me 500 honor points. It's very quick. It takes maybe 5 minutes to complete the rift in its entirety, besides killing the bosses at the end, which are completely optional at this point in the game. You're just doing it for the honor. That's 900 quick honor. So if I really wanted to and I hadn't done it yet today, I think I started and then didn't finish it. So if I wanted to hop in that Grimghast Rift, I could go ahead and do that, grab my 900 honor, and be done with it, right? So those are some of the things you're going to do. Ynys Island is a source of honor. You can get 1,800 honor from here. Every time this place goes to war, these pedestals, boss spawns here and tries to take over the island. Boss spawns a bunch of monsters, and it's the exact same thing as the Crimson Rift and the Grimghast Rift. You're just going to be killing 3 waves of monsters. You'll get 3 quests. You kill the 3 waves of monsters, you'll get your 1,800 honor. And so that happens in Ynys Island. It is also going to happen here in Whalesong. When Whalesong goes to war, same thing. Bosses and waves of monsters will spawn on these 4 platforms. You'll go to the one that's corresponding to your race, or you can go to just whichever one if it's empty, and you can fight there as well. Get your quest credit, get your 1800 honor, get out of there. So there's a few that happen on the ocean. So Luska Awakening is actually here in Diamond Shores. The portal for Luska Awakening is over here-ish. The port to Luska Awakening. Abyssal Attack happens out here in the Arcadian Sea. And this is kind of like a tower defense. There's going to be some towers that need to be defending. And this is kind of like a free-for-all because both sides, you East and West, are going to be competing for this as well. This is also a major source of honor. I put this in the honor. It's a major source of gold, but I put it in the honor category because East and West are both competing for this at the same time. Unlike Whale Song and Aegis Island. So, for Aegis Island, West has their own one, East has their own one. So, right, you guys are going to be going to your opposite sides. And with Whale Song, you're going to go to the Nui base if you're West. You're going to go to the Hiranya base if you're East. You're not really going to interact until the event's over. For this one, everybody's boat is going to be your ship or galleon or whatever. It's going to be here in the same place. So you're going to be fighting each other. There's a lot of fighting going on. There's a lot of honor to be gained there. But Abyssal Attack is primarily a gold operation. There are trade packs that you can secure from the event, so you'll be getting a lot of gold from there. If you successfully get the packs onto your ships and then turn them in without getting ganked. So that's another thing. There's pirates that show up, or just opportunistic players that don't want to participate in the event, but they want to gank the people that have the spoils of victory, right? So that's one thing you can do. So another thing I want to talk about, it's not active on North American servers, but instanced PvP. So Faction War, Golden Plains Battle, you get 2,000 honor for winning, and you get 20 chests. These chests give you infusions. Again, to upgrade your gear, your Hiram gear, and these you can also choose accessory infusions from those as well. I don't have an example here in my bag, but they look a little bit different, but they work on your accessories, like this here, this heroic Noriad ring that I got from a dungeon called Noriad Challenge. So this is a good source of honor. It's very quick. It also gives you 1,000 labor for the daily. Naval Arena, Stillwater Gulf is not in the game yet. So those things, and Hiram City. So this tab here, the raids, these don't work on North American servers yet, but these are good sources of labor and honor. And so you'll be doing those. They don't take very long. This says the playtime here is 21 minutes, and that's a hard 21 minutes. Timer just clocks down. If nobody wins decisively, it's going to hit. Once that timer gets down to 0, match is over, right? So that's a good source of honor. And then finally, open world PvP. So if you like just running around ganking people, what you'll do is you hit your map, you'll zoom out, and you'll find zones that are at war or in conflict. Any intention and all those other kind of titles just mean that you can fight other players, but conflict and war means that when you fight those players, you can take honor from them. You get 40 honor for a full solo kill, and I think they lose 10. So you look, Carcass Ridgelands is at war, Halcyona is at war. Nope, that's tension, don't want to go there. So, you look at, nope, there's no place over here in Hiranya that I want to fight at, but okay, in Aurora, Eastern Hiram Mountains is at war, Reedwind is at war, Golden Ruins is at war. So I'll port there, go to my teleport book, I'll port to one of those cities, and, I get on my mount, and I just go looking for reds. That's what we call opposing enemy players. You look for reds, kill them, get their honor points, buy your gems, right? Buy your decrystallization scroll so you can upgrade your gear and whatnot, right? So that's honor dailies and ways to get honor and what you can get with honor. So moving on to the next topic, gold. How do you get gold? You need gold to do anything. You need gold to list your guild, to advertise. You need gold to repair your gear. You need gold to you spend gold to even spend your labor when you're crafting something or processing whatnot. So first things first. This is typically the first thing I do when I wake up. As you notice, I have a debuff here. called Clear Mind, and that debuff is basically I can't gain labor from sleeping in my bed in my house anymore. That's a way to get cheap labor. If you have a wicker bed, you get 100 labor for free every night by logging out in your bed. Well, you don't log out, so I let myself time out. You have to spend 6 minutes sleeping. You get a minute, is like you're trying to sleep, and then you have a 5-minute debuff called I don't know, peaceful sleep or soundful sleep or something like that, and you have to wait until that runs out, and then it gives you 100 labor. And so every night I end the night in my bed, in my house, and the first thing I do when I wake up is I tend to my farm. So maybe I chop my trees down, maybe I shear my sheep for cotton, and maybe I turn the cotton into fabric and I put the fabric on the auction house. Or something like that, right? So that's the very first thing you're going to do, and that what we call that is converting your labor into gold. You never want to be sitting at 5,000 labor or high labor without a purpose or a purpose for it, without a path for it. You always want to be using your labor. So the first thing I do when I wake up is I convert my labor into crafting. And so for this character, for me, because I'm more of a hardcore character, I do have a second account that I use for my crafting. So you'll notice my crafting isn't anywhere up there except for what the Blue Salt Questline gives you, except my larceny, because I've been opening a ton of infusions. You do get larceny experience for opening these infusions, and that's what you'll do to upgrade your gear to the levels that I have my gear at right now. So crafting, gathering, processing, maybe you're going to go mining, maybe you're going to go searching for somebody's hidden away farm, accrue some crime points for doing some logging or whatnot. All that crafting stuff. Maybe you're going to make some packs and you're going to take those trade packs and you're going to take them to 2 crowns. You're going to take them. I'm sorry, I'm not too familiar with the East. What's the Solus headlands and Ynys and Villanelle. You're gonna take your packs into those cities and get your gold, right? So you're gonna do that way. Maybe that's what you're gonna do when you first wake up and you first log into the game. That's the first thing you're gonna do. PvE mob farming obviously is one thing you can do. I don't have any in my bag right now, and I'm pretty low on labor, but you'll get coin purses. The ancestral coin purses or ancestors coin purses are really good. The place I farm, you want to farm at Ynys Island, because this place is always at war. One of the benefits of farming in a place that's always at war is that you get a bonus to loot drop and you get a bonus to gold. Now, even though these places are in war, because they're major quest hubs and they're major leveling places, and that's going straight back to war once that 10 minutes is over, by the way. Because these are major leveling places, people tend to leave each other alone on these places. I've only been attacked or had some good quality PvP maybe 2 or 3 times since Unchained came out in Ynys Island, and that's leveling this account, leveling my other account, or just being there for the honor daily that's happening there. People tend to leave each other alone. The East goes to the East side, West goes to the West side. They fight their respective mobs. They're just trying to level. They're just trying to get their gold. They're trying to get their materials. Maybe they're farming for ship materials. There's some good hidden. Well, I guess not hidden if I'm talking about it. There's some good places to fight seaborne mobs. So seaborne mobs are specifically supposed to be out here in the ocean. They're not supposed to be on the coast. But for whatever reason, some of these areas here on the coastline count as ocean. So some of these mobs drop the bags, kind of like these infusion bags, to give you upgrade materials for your ships and for your boats, for their seaborne vehicles. So there's a lot of people out here farming, and they just want to farm. They're not going to bother you. It's like, you guys aren't fighting out there. So I would pick a zone like this, like Western Hiram Mountain. There's a few people that we go back and forth with in PvP all the time. But besides those people, 99% of the people out here, they just want to farm. They just want to get their gold and whatnot. Go out there, farm your coin purses. Let's say you only have an hour to play. You don't have all the time to be planting and crafting and going to the mine and doing the mining and doing everything like that. You just want to spend your labor, get your gold, and then go to bed. So go out, farm, 50, 100 mobs, do whatever for like 30 minutes, open a bunch of boxes, open a bunch of crates, open a bunch of coin purses. You use all your labor, you get your gold, and that's it. You're done. You can be done in a few minutes for that. It's very quick. It's not as efficient gold per labor, but it's very quick. So you do that. Also for gold, dungeons. Dungeons are very important for a number of reasons. One, your in-game ring. I don't currently have it because I've been lazy. I haven't done it yet. Is the quest in here? I don't know can't remember what it's called right now. Oh, it's Myths and Legends, Ring Bearer. But basically, your Ynys Guardian ring or your Dream ring are going to require a bunch of dungeon drops, so you need to be in there doing the dungeons now. It is your in-game ring. Everybody will be wearing one. As soon as more people catch on, you'll see more groups for it. If you see groups for Greater Carlisle Castle, or you see groups for Serpentis, that's what they're doing, right? They're getting the mats ready for their rings. So IGN, or you just a quick Google search will typically bring up the IGN guides for that, and it has a walkthrough on getting those rings. But dungeons are a good source of gold, and one of those reasons are, if you look at my belt, your belt can't hold normal gems. They hold gems that are spec specific. So I'm a Malediction main. Serpent's Glare is my bread and butter. That's where you shoot the crashing waves at people like this. It's my number one DPS. It kills a bunch of people in PvP, tagging everybody, tagging mobs, and so I have increased duration of Serpent Glare in my belt. And where these gems drop from are bosses in dungeons, in greater dungeons. And they were very expensive at the beginning of Unchained. They're slowly coming down as more people start doing dungeons, but they were as expensive as other gems, 50, 60 gold at the start of Unchained. That's what I was selling them for. So it's a huge source of gold. Even just selling the drops to a vendor will get you, let's say if you run all the dungeons, probably 150, 200 gold, just vendoring everything. If you run all the dungeons, all your attempts for the dungeons, because you can run greater dungeons 3 times a day, you can run normal dungeons 5 times a day, and there are reset items that you can spend gold on to do it even more, than that. So that's one of the things you can do is dungeons. It's just like World of Warcraft or anything like that. You want to grab a tank, you want to grab a healer, you want to grab 3 DPS, maybe somebody that can CC, maybe somebody that's really good at AoE, and just go in there and knock them out. They're pretty elementary. There's not a lot of hard mechanics in there, except maybe the first boss in Carlisle Temple or Carlisle Castle if nobody's ever done it before. But it's pretty self-explanatory once you see the fire on the ground and the buff or debuff that the boss has. So that's another source of gold. Another one is, and this is another reason that I came here to Aurora to show you, is because a lot of people just run right by this and don't even know that this exists. This came out in 2.0 of the game. It's this giant place here. It is the Ayanad library. You'll notice, if you've never been here before, you're going to see 2 quests here. I already picked them up and did them today. And you'll just come right up in here and you'll do them. You'll notice people looking for groups periodically throughout the day, every 4 hours. And this is an open instance dungeon, so you don't have to queue up for this. Now there is a 5-man version called Abyssal Library, and I actually don't want to enter that. I accidentally entered the queue. But there's an open version, and every 4 hours. So for me being central, that's 3, 7, and 11. That's AM and PM. So you pick whichever hour you want to go to. There will be raids that come in here and they go top down. So they go from floor 3, 2, and 1. And there will be bosses that spawn in here. And these bosses give you quests, and those quests give you items, and those items you can sell for gold. I did mine earlier today. I zero out my gold. So I buy my gems, I upgrade my gear. At the start of the day, I zeroed out. And so this 66 gold that I have in my inventory today, well, you probably can't see that because I'm on my webcam. I have 66 gold on me. That's 100% from this. This was the last thing I did today. So I'm doing this video. I haven't played anymore since I did library. This is the last thing I did today. So 66 gold I made from killing the bosses in here. You can come back again in the same day to kill some of the bosses you missed. There are 2 different bosses that spawn on each floor. So even though you cleared it once, you may want to come back and see if you get the other boss, because then you can get another, 40 to 50 gold. Your payout is typically going to be 40 to 50 gold, unless you're really lucky. Because this place does fill up pretty quickly, and this used to be the hot spot to farm for level 50 to 55, because it's a safe zone. You can't attack other players in here, so even though East and West are both in here, you can't fight each other, and it's just a bunch of elite mobs. It's just rooms full of elite mobs. And you get to have your get to have your fun with it. So you get to, if you wanted to come in here at any point in time, do the quest. You want to pick up those quests there on the board, and you just want to come up here and kill a few monsters. You are more than welcome to do that. And then you'll fight them. You'll get kind of a little bit of XP. You'll get some gold, and it'll be pretty good. And even it's not the best source of XP and gold. The bosses are. The bosses are a great source of XP and gold. The mobs aren't. But this is a relaxed area to farm in because there's no PvP. And you might say, well, this is a PvP game, Mateo. All right, well, and I definitely don't farm in here. I farm in western higher mountains, like some other higher end players. But if this is where you want to do your farming, get your golds, either I'm getting some silver. I haven't looted anything yet. I think I was going to farm in here until I got something. You saw me get something, just to show you. But this is very relaxing. There's going to be quests. You can't see it now because I've already done them. But there's quests the same as the Hiram Dailies. There it is. There's Librarian's Curse, Coin Purse. And so I just wanted to show you that. So you can get coin purses in here. So if you just wanted to walk in here, you get the coin purse, you open it up, you spend some labor, and there we go, 60 silver. I just wanted to do that to zero out my labor, get a bunch of gold. I can come in here and do that on my own. Don't need a group for it. You can come in here whenever you want to and enjoy yourself. And this is like an open instance PvE place, and you see how big the map is. It's a giant grid. Each little square there is a room. Each room has different monsters in it, so every day you're going to get different quests for different monsters in the library. So maybe one day you have to go up to this corner, or one day you have to go down to that corner to find the monsters for there. But it gives you XP and gold, and that's another good source of gold for you. The last thing is Kyrios Dailies. So Kyrios coins is a currency that you're going to need for your best in slot title. Now, best in slot is subjective because some people really want the skill mana reduction one from mastering all the classes. There's a hidden quest that you can pick up in Cinderstone Manor. I suppose in the East. It's in Ynys as well if you're East. And I have it in my log, I think. I have it in my log. Next Path of Glory. Nope. Is it Adventure? Nope. It's somewhere in here. Or maybe I turned it in. We're going to find it. Maybe I turned it in. I think I turned it in. But it's a quest to basically level all of your skill sets to 50. And then you get another one to level all your skill sets to 55, and you get a title that lowers your skill usage. So your skills will cost less mana. And I know for healers that are wearing plate, or basically anybody that's wearing plate, that's pretty good to lower your mana costs. But specifically for PvP, so I'm going to go into the instance, and the arena shop is right here in the instance tab. So instance, you can't see it because my webcam is in the way, but there's a little orange circle in the bottom right hand corner that's called instance. You click on that and this window will pop up, and I go to arena shop, and I'm gonna close my bag here. I don't need my bag open, and this is the stuff that's in the arena shop. There's a specific mount that's has a really high base movement speed, has its own gear. You can get these things if you want to expedite leveling. So as a low level player, so your gear and whatnot is normalized when you go into arena. So if you're a low level player, you can still go into the arenas. You don't have to be max level, and you can buy these adventurous growth stones or companions growth stones for your pets and your mount to give yourself XP. So you can level through Arena. You can level through PvP. So if that's what you want to do for maybe an alt or maybe an alt account, you can definitely level through PvP. Now, here are the two things that everybody is doing Arena for, regardless of whether they're an Arena junkie or they just want to do PvE. The first are these cloaked migration scales. Stat migration allow you to take stats you don't want and put them into stats you do want. Now, this may seem, not as apparent because I have gear on. So I am actually going to take my gear off and show you guys. Because I have used some of these thus far. So naked, your stats are typically all the same. Your stats should be all the same. Now I also have a title on. I'm not going to take that off, but because I think it's 14 all. It's my title, 14 all. Yeah. So I should have 160 to all stats. But as you notice, my intelligence is actually 214, and my strength and agility are 154 instead of 174, like everything should be. Right, because I have a plus 14 title on. So everything should be 174. But as you notice, I have 40 more intelligence and 20 less strength and agility. That's because every time I get some spare coins, I go into the arena shop and I buy, I'm going to go do this again, I buy one of these for 30 Kyrios coins once a day. I think I used one today already. But what you would do is you buy it, and it lets you to decide not only what stat you want to increase, but what stat you want to take from. So I don't want to lower my stamina because that's my HP pool. And I don't want to lower my spirit because that also helps my magic defense, and that's my MP pool and my MP regen. So I'm lowering my strength and my agility because those are stats I'll never use. This is a mage. It's always going to be a mage. Since I have an alt, my alt is Battle Rage. It's my my warrior, my fighter. I don't have any inclination to ever play a strength or agility class on this character, so I am lowering my strength and agility down to 0 and buffing my intelligence. You can buff a total of 300 stat points, and so I can lower my strength and agility almost all the way down to 0 to buff my intelligence up. And the intelligence is a stat I want. It increases my magic critical rate, my evasion, my magic damage, my accuracy, so it lets me land more attacks, and it gives me more max mana. So that's one of the things that you're going to buy, or the stat migrations. And as you notice, I was talking about, I have a 14 stat title. And what this 14 stat title it comes from is here. So you have to start from the bottom. Each extra title, the requirement is that you have the previous title. So you're just going to go from 5th rank soldier, 4th rank, 3rd rank, 2nd rank, 1st rank, and then you're going to go all the way up here. So I have 2nd rank knight right now. That's the title I'm currently wearing. It's actually plus 16. All stats, not 14. I'm dumb. Can't math. But the very best title is that epic immortal token. It's the immortal title. It gets plus 25 to all stats, plus 3% to all critical, so melee, ranged, magic, and healing critical, and gives you plus 300 resilience. Resilience does the same thing in this game as it does in other games. It's kind of like Warhammer, World of Warcraft, Terra, whatnot. It lowers the chance for you to be crit and lowers the critical damage when an opponent does crit you. So that is a stat-based title. It's available to everybody in the game as long as you log in, you do your arena dailies. So here are the arena dailies. I'm going to go back into instance. Here's this window. If I click over to, well, I'm in the tab right here. It says arena. These two are available. These ones are not available on North American servers. Those are the 1v1 arenas. This one is equalized for all stats and whatnot, so it's like a fair arena, so it doesn't matter what your gear is. And this is the show-off arena, the gladiator arena. This is basically how much better is my gear than yours, and I'm gonna, I'm the pwn noobs in here. But this is this fair arena, unfair arena, free-for-all arena. It's basically 12 people. You all spawn in your own area, and you go out and you fight each other. It's big. It's like a Super Smash Brothers arena. It's like I can't remember what the name of the stage is, but it's like a final destination Super Smash Brothers stage. And there's some PvE mobs that spawn too, and those are contested as well. They give points as well. So highest points, you get different amount of Kyrios tokens based on your place. But as you can see here, even if you get last place, you get 20 points, and you get to do this twice a day. You get rewards twice a day. You can do it as many times as you want to, if you just have fun doing arena, but you get rewards twice a day. So even if you get last place and you only get 20 points, you get 40 for doing it twice, and that's enough to get your migration scale, enough to get, you know, your first title done and everything. And then there's this one, Drill Camp Arena. It's a 5v5, but it can go up to 10v10. This one also gives you Radiant Infusions, which are these things that it upgrades your Hiram gear, and can also give you the accessory infusions to upgrade your jewelry, kind of like this Heroic Noriate ring. And it also gives you Kyrios tokens as well. So all this stuff will give you Kyrios tokens and Radiant Infusion supplies. So if you were just a super PvP player and you didn't want to do your Hiram dailies, even though I recommend that you should, and you know you wanted to get infusions and you wanted to get Kyrios tokens, you could definitely get your infusions through Arena as well. So with that all said, I'm trying to keep the video as short as possible. I'm sorry for going long. Like I said, there's going to be timestamps at the bottom, so you can skip ahead back and forth if you want to. You don't have to listen to me ramble on if you don't want to. Finally, what you should be working towards once you hit level 55. Now, maybe I should put my gear back on, and then we'll talk about this so it makes a little bit more sense from the stat perspective and everything. So what you should be working on. So first thing you shouldn't be doing is just sitting here chatting, rambling, and running around Diamond Shores like I'm doing. So the first thing you should work on is, one of the things you should work on, and I'm not even going to rank these in 1, 2, 3 because everybody has a different opinion on this. You should work on your gear to an extent. The extent that you need to work on your gear is the extent to where you can comfortably meet your goals in PvE and PvP. And what I mean by that is, like you saw me earlier, I went into the library. Those were elite mobs. They have about 60, 70,000 HP. If you're a new player or a newer player, that probably doesn't, you've probably, you know, fought some elites and you're like, no, this is a waste of time. They did too much damage to me. They just wrecked me. And as you noticed, that was not the case when I fought there. My gear is high enough where I don't have a challenge in PvE so far. There's one zone I can't go to yet, and that's Eastern Hiram Mountains. These mobs will still body the heck out of me. There's no way. Not yet. Not yet anyway. I'm not there yet. Maybe 9, 10k gear score. I'll try again. That's where I was on Legacy, where I have an Emissary, which is a Malediction kind of tankish mage that I farm in Eastern Hiram Mountains. So I'm not there yet, but I can comfortably complete all of the PvE that I want to complete in the game. And so at about around 5k gear score, that's when I stopped really working on my gear. Now, or my weapon at least. Now I need to work on my armor, so I'm a little bit more survivable, and you know, have more HP and defense and whatnot. So that's the other thing I'm working on. I need to work on my gems. So you know, there's tons of things you can work on for your gear. It's not just upgrading your gear itself. Maybe I want to find a dedicated group for Noriate so I can get rid of these trash earrings. Maybe I want to go to the Proven Warrior table in either Marianople or whatever the eastern capital is and craft my PvP necklace, because the PvP necklace is going to be eventually best in slot anyway. I've been holding off because I don't have enough honor to make it worth wearing yet. You know, rank 1 isn't probably worth wearing. So I'm holding off on that, but maybe I can go work on that, right? So there's tons of things I can work on my gear, right? Maybe I want to go get the rest of the gems for my gear. So, you know, there's tons of things I can work on to make my gear better, but it's up to a point. At some point, if your gear is so high, if you look at the people that are at the top of the gear list, it's like, why? You know, it's like they're already one-shotting each other. You know, it doesn't make anything go faster. Like, you're not clearing the dungeon any faster. You still have to dodge the mechanics and whatnot. Your mount doesn't run faster or anything because your gear is super high tech. You know, you already one shot the mobs, or you kill the mobs in one combo. You know what I mean. So you want to upgrade your gear to a point to where PvE is comfortable. You don't want to always be getting bodied by mobs. So you want to make sure your armor is an acceptable level. All my armor is celestial, and that's for the bonus. You know, so based on your rarity of your armor, you get a certain amount of max health, mana, and skill damage and healing. So, you know, mine is all celestial just for that bonus. So I'm not in one shot range of any mob or anything like that. So that's where I got my gear to. Second is a boat. If you've ever done Abyssal, or if you've been out fishing, or you've been in Luska, or you've just been in the ocean, you understand that your rowboat is no good. Your rowboat is absolutely no good. So what I would recommend, and I'm going to go to my home, and then I will I'll show you guys if you haven't seen it, but work on a boat. Whether that's if it doesn't have to be something expensive like a fishing boat or a merchant schooner, it can just be a clipper. Get a clipper. Going from the rowboat to a clipper is like going from on foot without being able to sprint to being on a mountain. It's like that's the difference between the rowboat and the clipper. It can also take a ton more damage. If you've ever summoned your rowboat or rowed it up onto shallows and had the collision damage just destroyed in like 2 seconds, or have another boat run into you and destroy your rowboat in like 2 seconds, it's no fun. It's no fun. It's no good. You don't want to be doing that at all. So I would recommend making a clipper. I have a harpoon clipper. It cost me about 100 gold, and you might think, well, with that 100 gold, Mateo, you could have upgraded some gear, you could have done anything else. Well, that's just the way it is, right? There's a trade-off. You're either spending it on one thing, you're spending it on another. Now this is an investment because fishing is a source of gold. Fishing is always going to be profitable for gold, and there are events, like I said, there are honor dailies like Naval Attack, Abyssal Attack, Luska Awakening, or the Kraken World Boss, where you're going to be out on your boat. So you're going to be doing ship battles. Maybe you're using your cannons. Maybe you're using harpoons. Maybe you're using, or maybe you want to bring your guild. Maybe bring your guild mates. I don't know how many people you think can fit in a rowboat before it sinks, but it's not a lot. It's not a full party. So you want to have a clipper, at least a clipper, right? And you want to progress your way up because you want a merchant boat to put trade packs on, or you want a fishing boat so you can carry more fish up, so you can haul 100 gold worth of fish instead of 10 gold worth of fish, right? You want to be able to do that, and the speed is important because the ocean's a big place. It doesn't look like it. But this is a big place, guys. It is huge. If you're in a rowboat, you can spend hours. You can spend an hour plus just rowing from one continent to the other. You're also likely at this point in the game to be attacked by pirates. There are people that have dedicated themselves to the pirate faction, and there are people like myself, and I'll admit I am one of these, where I intentionally, when sea events are going on, I'm not there to participate in the event. I'm there to kill you. It's like if you're AFK rowing, if I'm there to pull you to the bottom of the ocean, I'm going to put you in a bubble trap or something like that. I'm going to CC you. I'm going to malicious binding you under the water. You're going to drown. I'm going to kill you out there. Your guild's going to have to turn around and come get you because that's my job. I'm a shark. If I see you carrying trade packs in the water on your boat, I want them. I'm the not purple pirate. I'm not an actual pirate, but that's what I enjoy doing that. I love seafaring battles. I love, two ships coming up alongside each other, and I see mages and archers shooting at each other left and right. I love that. That's what I love doing. So that's what I do, and I could not do that without a harpoon clipper. The harpoon and the harpoon clipper allows me to pull your boat to me or my boat to you, and that's very helpful for me who wants to gank you, right? So, and also being the speed. The speed's a big thing. It's really cheap to upgrade boats. So you might see the spam in your chat at the top of your screen all the time. People upgrading their boats to epic and celestial and divine and whatnot, because it's really cheap to upgrade a boat. So you can get a really good boat for a really cheap price, and it is an incredible investment. So that's number 2. Number 3, your farm wagon. You 100% want to continue your Blue Salt quest line. Get your farm wagon, your farm cart. As you know. What am I trying to say? Carrying trade packs gives you gold. You make a trade pack, so I'm going to go up here and I'll show you. If you've never done it before, and we can walk through that. If you've never made a trade pack before in any zone, well, I live in Dewstone Plains. because it's equidistant to Soulsreed Peninsula and Two Crowns, which are two of the zones where you turn packs into. So depending on how I feel and what the prices are, I can go down here or I can go up here. So I'm like, people don't think this is a good place, but it is a good place. It's a good place to have your home. And once it's at level 3, so you can actually level up your towns, kind of like a Sim City, by turning in contribution packs, blue salt bonds, and there will be a dock here. So I can have my boat and everything here when the city becomes rank 3. But here is where you will craft your packs. These are trait packs. As you can see, there's fine trait pack. You're going to use the mats here. You'll collect them, some flowers, and some medicinal power from grinding up flowers. You'll make the pack. You'll put it on your back. You'll get on your mount, or you'll get in your cart or your farm wagon. So the thing about the wagon and the cart is you can carry multiple packs. So typically you can only carry one pack on your back. You may have seen some PvE quests where you become slow as a snail and you're just carrying the pack around, right? That's the trade pack. Now, to get away from that, you get a donkey. At level 30, you get a donkey. I'll show you the donkey real quick. So at level 30, you get a donkey. The donkey doesn't go slow down if you have a pack on, but a donkey rides slow as bananas. My wagon is currently destroyed, so I can't show you that. It's broken, and I have not fixed it yet. But the wagon, the cart can carry 2, the wagon can carry 4. You do have to buy the materials to make the cart, but the wagon is given to you for free through the same quest line where they want you to make the cart. So that quest line is found in Alcyona and Solissa, this town right here. It's a quest line. It has a little tree leaf above the person's head. It's not an exclamation point. It's a green tree leaf, like a leaf, a flower. And you click that, and it's going to take you through all the zones. It's going to tutorial you on all the crafting professions, farming, gathering, and it's going to culminate with making you build a farm cart. And then once you have the farm cart, it's going to walk you through and give you all of the materials to make your farm wagon. And I can carry 4 carts, 4 trade packs at a time. And so you're definitely going to want that. And then the last thing is better property. So right here, you're going to have these things called Gilda stars. And you've been collecting them passively. You probably don't even know why or how you've been collecting them, but just doing questing gives you Gilda stars. So every day that you log into this game and you do your dailies, you're getting Gilda stars. Every time you decide to go do a raid boss or a world boss, you're getting Gilda stars. But there are specific dailies in your capital cities or any place where blue salt bonds are. So any blue salt bond port like Cinderstone, Moore, or Ynys, I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, will give you, or your main capital, so Marianople, and I actually have no idea what the main capital is of Piranha. But your main capitals will give you a quest, the Blue Salt Brotherhood. They give you dailies. They're very tedious unless you want to spend some gold. So if you want to spend some gold teleporting around, then it only takes you 2 minutes. But otherwise, it's going to run you through the low level, level 1, level 10 zones, and it's just some fetch quests. It's literally just some fetch quests for maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and you're going to do that, and it will give you Gilda stars. That's the only purpose for those quests, is to give you Gilda stars. Gilda stars are what you need to get these designs for these things, which are buildings. This is the last thing you're going to be upgrading, is your buildings, your property. So as you noticed, I haven't actually used my 8x8 yet because I actually want to turn it into an advanced property, and there's just no space for it yet. I want to turn this into a 16x16 memory scarecrow farm, which will allow me to teleport to here for free without costing a hereafter stone. So it's a long-term investment because it's going to save me. Oh, that's some terrible lag. Because it's going to save me gold throughout the months or years that I play Archeage. So like this guy, he placed his 16x16 in a manner that where, yeah, I could be a dick and put my 8x8 here. He has it in a way where he can pick this 16x16 up and put a 24x24 in here later at a later date. And this is a smart move. You want it to do something like this. So and that's the only way, because land is finite, right? Like, I can't pick this guy's place up and move it. I could ask him to, but he's probably going to tell me to go get bent. So you want it to set your land up in a way that you can expand. So yeah, you could put something. So you want to make your land in a way where people can't build next to you to stop your expansion, right? So that's one of the things you're going to be doing, because there are some buildings that you need, or not need, but you're going to want to improve whatever you're doing. So let's say your job is you want to be the best alchemist on the server. So you want an alchemist, house. You want an alchemy station in your house. So a 24 by 24. You need a 24 by 24 plot, and I'm pretty sure that design costs maybe 300 to 500 Gilda stars. Right, so I have 353, so you're going to need to be doing those dailies every day to get those Gilda stars, to get the design, to make your, to secure your giant plot, put your 24 by 24 in there so you can start doing your advanced alchemy patterns and whatnot, right? So that's what you need to be doing, and that's an example of this. So you see, these are people's farms. There's a bunch of trees growing because this is the early stages of the game. Everybody needs lumber. You need lumber to build your trees. You need lumber to build your boat. You need lumber to build your your wagon. You need lumber to do everything, right? So everybody's growing trees. There's some animals, because cloth fabric is pretty well to do. So there's some animals here, some cows, some sheep over here. So there's some cotton growing here, some oak trees. Here the sheep are, little lambs, goats. So these are people that are, it's the same way. They probably log out in their bed, get their buff, and then they tend to their farm and everything. So that's all I got, guys. I'm sorry that this video went a little bit longer. Again, like I said, there will be not a little bit, it was a lot longer, but I will segment all of this into timestamps, so you can skip straight ahead to whatever you need to see. And if any of it was helpful to you, you want to make any corrections, I said anything wrong, my memory is kind of jumbled. I played in 1.0 when the game first came out. Up until 3.0, I was one of those dream breakers, defilers. They're out there ruining PvP with a mud hand, innervate, heal combo. So there's been a lot that came out in the game since then. So my memory on what things are here in the 6.0 era, versus how things are in 1.0, I get those corrections all the time. Like, no, Mateo, we do things this way now. We don't need that anymore. It's like, oh, okay, all right, I didn't know that. Good to go. So I appreciate that. If you want to drop me a comment, a like, subscribe, hell, even a dislike, whatever. If I appreciate the engagement. I'm not out here for the money or anything, so I don't need all sunshine and rainbows. If you want to give me some criticism as well, I appreciate that. My only goal, as always, is to help at least one player. If one person watches this video, skips to the section through the timestamps that they want to see, and they read, they listen to maybe the part on honor, they listen to the part on making gold, and they're like, yeah, I didn't know that before. That's really cool. I'm gonna go do that from now on. That really helped me. Thanks a lot. Then this video was a success. You could give me 99 dislikes, and 0% likes, and it helped one player, and this was 100% worth it. So thank you guys. I appreciate your time, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.